I'm Dr. Anthony Harper here at the White House. I'm back from Israel, and for the latest Israel leader interviews, you could go to our website, imcnews.org. That's the Intermountain Christian News, and you can search on Google or other search engines for our YouTube channel as well as Rumble, but most of our videos are on YouTube, so you can see those latest Israel leader interviews, very key things that happened. Especially was really sobering was being at the Nova music site. That's the site near the Gaza border where the Hamas vicious attack happened on October 7th, 2023. As I mentioned, very sobering event. You can see that and so much more. But this is a special day being back to the White House in light of the hostage deal that has been promoted a lot in the media. The Israeli Security Cabinet has to give final approval to this or it will not happen. So as of the last time I checked, the Israel Prime Minister Netanyahu has not approved the deal because of Hamas not listing the hostage names. You know, that is one of many conditions that Israel has had, and Hamas has often reneged on this condition, as stated from the Prime Minister in a press release from the Israel government press office. So we await, we don't know exactly. You may be, after watching this video, may hear the news already about this, but there are many in Israel that I have heard about that, and people I've met with that oppose this hostage, this deal, including some Israeli Knesset members that are not in favor of this. And so look at our YouTube channel for a lot more information. But elsewhere, what I do here, the principal reporter regarding Israel-U.S. relations, and those that don't know about Israel's history, the word Palestine was actually invented by the Roman Emperor Hadrian in the year about 200 some AD. So you can look that up. That's common knowledge. It could be Wikipedia or whatever, about the history of Palestine and significance about Hadrian in creating this Palestinian kind of identity. It was back then called by Syria, Palestina. There's so much history about this. I think people need to understand the history of this for the Middle East issue. Now, you know, there's a warning in the Jewish scripture, the prophet Joel, chapter 3, verse 2, against a Palestinian state. And that is what it says in Joel 3:2 is, for God enters into judgment in the valley of Jehoshaphat, the nations that scatter his people and divide up his land. Now, the previous U.S. presidential candidate, Michelle Bachmann, she, in a recent statement at the Jerusalem Prayer Breakfast in Mar-a-Lago, made it clear that this cannot be considered of a Palestinian state, referencing the warnings about doing that. This is in light of the presidential Middle East advisor that has been designated by President-elect Trump, and that is, the name of that person is Michael Boulos. He is Tiffany Trump's father-in-law, and he has been in several news reports referring to support of a Palestinian state, which is in direct opposition to the ambassador to Israel designee or nominee Mike Huckabee, who clearly opposes the Palestinian state, as I mentioned. And I have an interview with Mike Huckabee. You can search my name and Mike Huckabee. So just search for Anthony Harper and Mike Huckabee interview. You can see that. But for the lot that don't know about the Israeli national anthem, very significant to Israeli people. I witnessed it firsthand how much they deeply respect their anthem and they stand to attention. And by the way, I do know what that Israel national anthem means in English. It's called Hatikva. It means the hope in English. Now, in English, it means, for as a heart beats true for the Jew looking towards the east, towards Zion and Jerusalem, the 2,000-year-old hope will not be lost, to live free in the land of Zion and Jerusalem. And this is what it is in Hebrew. Kola beleva penima nefesh Yehudi homiya ופאתי מזרח קדימה, עין ציון סופיה. עוד לא אבדה תקוותנו, התקווה בשנות אפיים, להיות עם חופשי בארצנו, ארץ ציון וירושלים. להיות עם חופשי בארצנו, ארץ ציון Yerushalayim. So that's what it is in Hebrew. Now you can see me actually giving a rendition of that at the Ben Gurion Airport. And this is such an important foundation to the news story about Israel and the Jewish presence there and their national anthem, Hatikva. And for those that want to support this ongoing effort here to report truth, our website is imcnews.org, and you can find a donate button there, and you can donate, and those donations are tax deductible to support truth reporting here at the White House and of course in Israel and around the world. We are a voice so often for the voiceless. Serving as the principal human rights reporter, not only covering Israel issues, antisemitism, but a child's right to life, protecting children, and exposing the international child sex trafficking problem. And there's a great movie, by the way, Sound of Freedom, that you can see about that international child sex trafficking issue, that President Trump is in opposition to the human trafficking issues. You can look that up on the internet. President Trump and international child sex trafficking and human trafficking issues that he has spoken out on numerous times. I do want to say finally that we have the March for Life event coming up this month here in Washington, D.C. So go to the go to the March for Life website. You can just type in a search engine, March for Life. And President Trump, previously in his last presidency here, he did attend the March for Life event with Dr. Alveda King, that I know. And I'm curious about his involvement with the March for Life this year, and with the backdrop of what he did in supporting the states' rights issue and the Supreme Court decision that came out. So we eagerly await the move-in of President-elect Donald Trump here on Inauguration Day, January 20th, 2025. And I know there's a lot of anticipation about what's going to be happening next. So stay tuned. I know a lot of people are riveted about the changes that are going to be happening about America First and what's going to be happening in the Middle East. I'm Dr. Anthony Harper here in the James Brady Press Room of the White House. This is January 18th, 2025. Very significant. I'm back from Israel. I was in Israel a month visiting with Israel leaders. Those interviews are on our YouTube channel, and by the name Intermountain Christian News is our YouTube channel. Our website, imcnews.org, where you can find that YouTube link as well. You can download our newspaper from there. But very significant happenings in Israel with these Israel leader meetings, and my visit to the massacre site, the Hamas event at October 7th, 2023. That is the Nova Music site near the Gaza border. I was also in Sderot. So it was a very intense experience, hearing some explosions in the background. And by the way, the Nova Music site is only about a quarter mile to a little bit more than that from the Gaza border. And I heard explosions, and the rabbi I was with said not to worry, it's one of ours, and that being that there was Israel doing some bombing there in Gaza. But it was very, very tense, very even and emotional at times, being there to see that area where people were massacred and they don't have any place to run to or hide. Actually, they did hide in some bus stops, which are also working as functional bomb shelters. But even though they took refuge in into the into the bus stops there, that they were massacred in those sites as well. So there are some memorials inside there, and you can, on our YouTube channel, Intermountain Christian News, you can see the video of me at the Nova Music site with this Rabbi Leventhal. There are many Israel leader interviews I've had there, and it's been quite an intense experience there in Israel. And there's protests against the hostage deal to release terrorists, and we're eager to, and I'm sure you're wanting to know about what's going to be happening about the release of hostages and the exchange for these terrorists. By the way, Sinwar, the mastermind behind the October 7th event of 2023, was one of those that was released in a hostage exchange. So that's why a lot of Israeli people that are very nervous and very upset about this, that would actually be give the favor to Hamas having the upper hand in this matter. So not all the hostages would be released at once, as President Donald Trump, elect, was calling for all the hostages released, and of course Israel as well. Only estimated about 33, so that's leaving at least 70 hostages that Hamas could hold on to and use for bargaining chips in the future. But overall, negotiating with terrorists hasn't been proven to be successful, and so there's so much in anticipation for what's going to be happening with President Trump's new agenda, America First, how he handles the Middle East. There were several news reports about a complaint about Israel being under pressure, not only by President Biden, but also by President Trump in this hostage release. So this report here today, Saturday, January 18th, 2025, from the James Brady Press Room. Very significant time to be here, and I've been here in 4 different administration times here during the Obama administration. That was in 2011, my first time here, and visiting Israel with the press into Ramallah, the Palestinian Authority, the headquarters there. A lot of experience there. You can see on our YouTube channel a lot of Israel videos. If you just type in my name, Dr. Anthony Harper, and Israel, a lot will come up, whether it's with the Prime Minister, Benjamin Netanyahu, and recent. One of my key meetings in Israel was with the Speaker of the Knesset, Amir Ohana. Had a private meeting there to hear from him their perspective on what's been going on since October 7th and before and currently.
We read news every day, news that's informative but rarely encouraging. The Intermountain Christian newspaper aims to change that. They present the news you need to know, from what's going on in your community to your world, with encouraging words, motivation, and the resources you need to make positive changes in your life. What is your local government doing that you need to know about? What's happening in your community you need to be a part of? Whether it's a story from your neighborhood, a national story, or an encouraging word, you'll find biblical issues of everyday life in the Intermountain Christian newspaper. Intermountain Christian News is produced and supported by the work and donations of individuals and churches. You'll find it at churches, Christian bookstores, by subscription, and online at imcnews.org. To find out more about supporting this local resource, go online at imcnews.org or call Intermountain Christian News in Boise, Idaho at 208-703-8688. The Intermountain Christian News, a voice sharing the truth on matters dear to people's hearts.